Hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Joel. I am a second semester nursing student at Imperial Valley College. And for today's video, this is going to be a different type of video because this is going to be 10 things, not going to be 7 anymore, but 10 things I learned from the book Rindete and how to apply them in nursing school. So this is the book Rindete. It's by Héctor de la Hoya. This has been by far one of the greatest books I have read this year. It has really helped me in having a mind change regarding failure. And yeah, this book is pretty much a guide to know when to fail, when not to fail, and how to differentiate between laziness and actually, giving up on something because for your mental health or things like that. So these are going to be 10 things, and I'm going to be giving examples here and there and how to apply them, in nursing, and how it has helped me so far. So I'm gonna make it short and sweet and go right to the point. Now, number 1, in order to be successful, you need to know when to give up. And this one's really huge because he gives a lot of examples of how successful people, they have failed so many times, but they're not a failure. Like, they are not losers or things like that. Losers is like Arnold Schwarzenegger said, a loser is someone that failed and stayed down. But a winner is someone that gave up on something, or they lost, or they failed at something, and then they get back up, and then they fail at something again, and they get back up. Like, that's a winner. So you need to know when to give up. That's one thing. And some of the things that can help you that he encourages is to really ask yourself, what do you want? And this could be weird because you might not be used to talking to yourself, but you don't really need to talk out loud. You can just think about it, really ask yourself that question. Or if looking in the mirror helps you, go for it. But really ask yourself that question. And sometimes you might be doing something just because you want to please others, or just because you thought it was going to be cool, but now it's really not cool anymore. So you might continue on, and we can call that perseverance. But in reality, you're doing something that you don't want to be doing. So that's a clear signal to give up. And I'm going to be going over more things about this, about giving up and things like that, because I'm going to be doing a part 2, because there's a lot of things I learned and I want to share, but I only want to go with 10 at a time. So yeah, you need to know when to give up. An example is that sometimes we do not give up because we don't want to be labeled as a failure. And that is true. And I can identify with that because failure before was really not in my vocabulary. And I know that sounds really weird, but maybe for you too. Maybe you have never really failed at something and you don't want to fail at anything, ideally, right? But sometimes it has to be done and you should be okay with it. So yeah. Now, number 2 is that you need to be talking to yourself, which is what I pretty much went over right now. You really need to ask yourself, what do you want? And if what you want is to give up because you don't really find it attractive, or the major really wasn't to your expectations or things like that, then it's completely fine. It really doesn't make you a loser. You're a loser if you failed and you do not want to try again. That's what makes you a loser. But when you fail at something and then you get up and try it again, you failed, and then you try something new, that's a winner. So do not let one failure determine your life and be oh, I'm not gonna be anything anymore in life and I'm a loser and things like that. Do not go into that route, because once you go there, it's gonna be really hard for you to get back into reality. Now, number 3 is about accepting failure. And he pretty much goes off saying it is never easy to fail or to accept failure, but it gets a little less complicated when you really are sure about it and you can justify why you want to give up. So if your reason for giving up is because I feel overwhelmed and I'm lazy because I really do not want to do it, that's really not going to cut it. You really need to give a justification, not to the people, not to the world, but to yourself, because you don't want to be thinking a few months in the future and be I wonder what would have happened if I would have stayed a little longer? Like, you don't want to be living your life with regret, because then it was like time wasted, because like you could have continued on, but because of your emotions you decided to give up, and now you live your life with a little regret. It's like, what would have happened if I would have stayed? So yeah, that's one. And he really goes off saying, like, do not mistake failure, or do not fail because of confusion. Do not confuse it with laziness. Like, there's a difference between being lazy, like, I really do not want to do that because, you know, I don't want to do it, versus like your mental health. Let's just say like you feel really anxious or things like that, and you really do not get the help, or you don't really talk to anyone about it. Then that can be different, because you don't want to be all like having like PTSD or things like that. Like we shouldn't be going to that route. So really be able to distinguish between like you giving up because you feel lazy versus you giving up because you don't feel attracted about it anymore. So that's number 3. Number 4, make decisions based on your principles, not your feelings. Now, I did talk about this in the Stoicism video about like you shouldn't be making decisions based on your emotions, because your emotions change all the time. You do not change, your beliefs do not change, or your values do not change. So you should be making your decisions based on that and not your emotions. So you do not know what emotions you're going to be having each day, and you should not identify with your emotions, because you are not your emotions, you are yourself, and the emotions are going to come and go. So it doesn't make sense at all to make decisions based on emotions. Now, a common one is that nursing students give up because they feel very overwhelmed, because they're like, oh my god, this is so much, which is true, yes. But what is the difference between all of us and the person that decided to quit? Well, maybe one of the decisions might be like feelings. She didn't feel right, she didn't feel this and that, you know, all these excuses, which is fine, right? But remember, on the one that we said before, like, do not make decisions based on your emotions, do it based on your principles. So if it's like a lot about emotions, about how you're feeling, and you want to give up because of that, then I would really go deeper into it and be like, maybe if I can fix this, what's making me feel bad, you know, maybe I need to wake up sooner in order to get more stuff done, which is considered hard work, because, you know, you're working hard, because you might be thinking you're working hard, but in reality you're not working hard, you're just working. So there's a really big difference. Or like really sweating in what you're doing, like really go at it. If for whatever reason you do fail, you can be fine with yourself because you really tried your best, versus you just trying. There's a really big difference between those two. So before you fail at something, do not do it based on your emotions, because if you talk to second, third, or fourth semester students or nursing students, they're gonna tell you, yeah, I felt like that too. Like I really felt like that. So, but it's gonna pass, because look, I'm on the other side. You know, I'm on the next semester, and that's why I decided to be, and I hope I can do this next semester too, but like be with the first semesters. So right now I'm in second, so I'm in the chat of the first semesters, and I help them, and I tell them like, guys, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. So I try to like let them know that their emotions are valid. We felt like that, like my group felt like that exactly, their emotions are having. So I'm letting them know like it's completely normal. So do not make stupid decisions based on those emotions, because they're gonna come and go, okay? So do it based on principles, do not do it based on emotions, please. Now the 5th one, have a rookie mentality. And this one is really cool, because I used to be the person that didn't want to look like a rookie at all. Even though I was a rookie at doing something, I did not want to appear as a rookie, because, you know, I just didn't want to. But by having a rookie mentality, I have learned so much, and my life has been easier on everything. Like on nursing school, I would just ask my professor, like, you know what, I don't know about this, so can you just clarify for me? And whenever I'm in the hospital, doing my clinical hours with my group, sometimes I do have a question, I would just go with the professor rather than trying to figure it out on my own or asking other classmates. I would just go with the professor. So that has really helped me. It has made my life so much easier again. And I started going to the gym again, and I have been going to the gym for a month and a half now, and by having this type of rookie mentality, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start from scratch again. I'm gonna make it seem like I do not know anything. So I'm gonna get a personal trainer. I'm gonna get a nutrologist, and I'm just gonna go. You know, just follow their things and just go at it. And by having that type of mentality change, like things have been so much easier. Because before, when I would go to the gym, I would ask like my friends that were already going to the gym, like, oh, like what do you do and things like that. I would really never go with like the professionals, because like from the people that I know, like they would just get their things from either YouTube videos or things like that. So I don't know, like I never really thought about like getting a trainer or things like that, or a nutrologist. I was just like, I guess I'll figure it out. But by having this type of rookie mentality, I'm able to ask for help, and I cannot be worse than a rookie. So it's good. So that can really help you in the future. And in nursing school, like you have no idea how much it's going to help you to have that type of rookie mentality. So do not be afraid of asking questions. Now, number 6, you will never be ready for anything. So do it now. And this one's, yeah, it's true. You're never going to be ready for an exam or check off or anything in life. So do not wait until the time is right. The time is right now. Literally right now. There's no perfect timing than the right now. So if you want to apply at a certain nursing program, or you want to apply to the university you want, or a major that you want, or you want to really try something, really do it. Because there's not going to be a perfect timing in life. You need to do it now. So yeah, that really helps a lot. Now another one, success doesn't have a due date. This one's really cool. When I read this, I was like, damn. Because in my mind, I always wanted to do things fast, or at least be something when I'm like 23 or 24 or 22 or whatever. Like I do want to say like I am this, rather than just be like, oh, I'm a whatever, like something general. Like I really wanted to at least show that I have done something like big with my life. But when I read this, like success doesn't have a due date, that really made me feel a little more calm and less anxious and less hard on myself, because now I can just enjoy the journey, because I do not need to be thinking of the end goal. I can just enjoy the journey, and I'm eventually going to get there. And for a lot of people, they kind of like know this already. But for me, it was just like, oh no, like I really want to be something young. Like I do not want to be 20, like in my mid-20s, and I'm barely this. But after reading this, I was like, yeah, you know, you're right. Like success doesn't have a due date. Like things happen, and well, but you're eventually gonna get there. So yeah, I really like that one. So that really removed less stress from me. And number 8, enjoy the small victories. This one, I cannot stress this enough. When I read it, I was like, exactly. So yeah, like whenever you complete something, whether it's your agenda for today, your workout, everything you had planned for the week or whatever, when things go exactly as you want and you feel like you passed anything, a barrier in life or anything, really reward yourself. That is really going to help you continue on, and your brain is going to be motivated to continue because you rewarded yourself and your brain likes rewards. So yeah, really do that. Number 9, do what you're doing. Don't do what you're doing to please your parents. And this one is huge because a lot of us do things to please our parents because we want to make them proud. But the thing is that as long as you're a good person and you're doing something for the greater good, or you're contributing to society in a way, your parents are already going to be proud of you. So this is your life. You make your decisions, you make your choices, and your parents shouldn't really influence on your decision making at all, because it's your life, it's not their life. And do not let them put their life on you, I guess, because maybe they wanted to become, I don't know, a nurse or a doctor or whatever, but they didn't do it. So now they're going to be pushing you towards those paths because they didn't complete it. So do not let them do that. Like, do not let them push you like that. If you really do not want to do it because you don't really feel excited about it, just say no. Because once you're into that field, let's just say like you're there to please them, and you're gonna have a miserable time. You're gonna want to drop from whatever thing you're doing, and it's gonna be worse when you fail, because now, like, since you failed, you're gonna be upset with yourself, and your parents are gonna be upset about you because you know you failed at what they wanted you to do. So yeah, like, it's a double loss, and it can really hurt you, like, emotionally and mentally. So really do not go into that path. Like, do things because you want to do it. And yeah, that's a really big one. And the last one is regarding relationship, and he really goes talking about relationship because in his mind, most of us do not want to let go in a relationship because we just don't want to, because we're afraid to be alone or for whatever reason. But he really touches into, like, you need to know when to give up in a relationship, and he gives like tons of examples, but there was one in particular that I can feel it can resonate with all of us, even you that you're watching me right now. And when I read this, I was like, wow, I never heard this before, I never read this before. It makes completely sense. Like, damn, like it's like really, it's like the sad reality of stuff. And when I read it, I remember I had to put my Kindle down and I had to really think about it, because I was like, damn. So the advice is this. Well, I'll give you context first, and then the advice is gonna come in, and you're gonna be like, oh wow, okay, that makes more sense. He gives an example about a relationship that is going to help pretty much, but the girl doesn't want to give up the relationship because they have been through so much, all these memories. He's pretty much already used to him, and he's already used to her. They fight a lot, but you know, she's like, I do not want to let him go because, you know, he's my boyfriend, I love him, and things like that. Well, he asked her the following: are you in love with the person that you have in front of you, or are you in love with the person from your memories? And she was like, what? And I was like, damn. Because yeah, like, honestly, that's sometimes true. And I wanted to touch about this because in nursing school, more than likely that you're gonna be in a relationship, maybe not starting nursing school, maybe in the middle of nursing school, but you're eventually gonna be in a relationship. And if you say no, you'll see. You'll see, like, life, you know, is gonna be like, oh, you're sure about that? So yeah, like, you might be in a relationship before going to nursing school, and one of your worries is like, oh, like, what's gonna happen to us because I'm not gonna have all these extra time that I have right now. So what's gonna happen to our relationship, like, you know, life and things like that. So this is always in the back of any nursing or medical student or whatever field you're going, like a heavy profession. So when it comes to things like that, you really need to ask yourself that question, like, are you in love with the person you have in front of you, or the memories you have about them? And yeah, and that can really narrow it down and be like, yeah, like, I really do not like this person anymore because maybe they don't do the same things they did before. Maybe they already started treating you differently because now you're their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. So they pretty much like stop trying, and you maybe like do not feel that same attachment or emotions anymore. So you need to know when to give up and be like, yeah, like, I do not feel comfortable about it, and I'm in love with the you, like the memories that I have about you, but not about the you right now. So peace. So yeah, like that can really help you, because being in a relationship or in a complicated relationship in nursing school is going to make your nursing school more complicated than what it already is. Like, nursing school is already kind of like, you know, struggle, and to add that thing on top of it, it's like, I do not want to deal about this anymore. And if the other person like is always like fighting with you or things like that, and you're like, nah, like, if they're fighting you about like some random stuff, and you're like, oh my god, like, if I continue on with this, I'm gonna have to worry about this and worry about nursing school, and nursing school is already gonna be complex. So sometimes if you feel like this is gonna be going on and on and on and on, and maybe they don't appreciate you anymore, or they don't appreciate you as much, or they think they take things for granted, you're like, the most logical thing is like to let you go. So that can really save you a lot of time and emotions and, you know, a lot of things, money. So yeah, you really need to know when to give up on relationships, because it can really affect your nursing career or whatever career you're doing into, because you're not going to have the same encouragement, the same focus. So yeah, those were the 10 things from part 1 of the book Rindete. I'm going to be doing a part 2 about some other 10 things that I learned about it and how I applied them to my nursing life, and give all these examples like I did on this video. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video encouraging. If you did, please just put a like, so I can just see how many people really got something from this. And as long as one person got something from it, like, I just feel happy about it, because I'm able to change the mind of someone, and that someone can then change the mind of another person, and we can just be an endless cycle of positivity and make this world a better place. So yeah, thank you so much guys for watching, and I'll see you guys into the next video. Bye bye.